Okay, all right. Hello, everyone, and welcome to our Monday Momentum call. I am so excited for tonight's call. Every Monday, we are going to be having a call here at 8:30, and we have the absolute honor of having Sarah Klesko as our guest. Super excited. So Sarah is a certified holistic nutritional consultant, a mom of two, and a QNMD with the Juice Plus company. By working her Juice Plus business part-time on the side of her other passions, she has been able to create a full-time income that allows her flexibility to design her day. She is passionate about mentoring women to help build a positive or passive income stream so that they have more of an opportunity to say yes to things and people that matter to them. So I'm going to unmute Sarah and let her share what's working for her. And thank you again so much, Sarah, for doing this.
Awesome. Thanks so much, Michelle. Thanks for asking me. So it's so nice to see everyone's faces tonight. And today I'm just going to be sharing my story, my product story, my business story, and then just a few little tips. I'm going to keep it pretty short and sweet tonight. So if anyone has any questions or comments, just want to chat, and we have some time, then I am open for that. I'm just going to speak from the heart tonight. I have a few notes I don't even know if I'll look at. I'm just going to let it roll. So for those of you guys who don't know me, I live in the St. Albert area, just outside of Edmonton. I've got two kids, so I've got a 6-year-old and a 4-year-old. And for the last 8 years, I have run a traditional nutrition business along with my Juice Plus business. So it was in my early 20s, in my teens, that I was introduced to Juice Plus. It's been part of my life for a really long time. When I was introduced to Juice Plus, I didn't think I needed it. I was young. I was healthy to my standards of what health meant. I thought I ate pretty good because I had salad sometimes, like we all think we're invincible when we're in our teens and early 20s. But I actually started struggling with my digestive health very early. And I came to a point when I was in university and I wasn't taking care of myself. I was really busy. I was burning the candle at both ends, as my mom would like to point out. And I was starting to get really bad symptoms of IBS. And it was to the point where, being at school, I had to have meds in my bag. I needed to have over-the-counter meds just so I could sit in a class for an hour and a half. And I was very frustrated. It felt like no matter what I ate, I was getting sick. And I was over at my boyfriend's mom's house, who's Shelly Klesko, who introduced Juice Plus to me. And I was crying and I was upset. I was frustrated. And she was so good at sharing with me previously for probably about 4 years and patient with me. And she's like, Sarah, what if this made a difference? It's just fruits and vegetables. And I went through all my excuses. I'm like, I'm poor. She's like, it's $2 a day. You got this. Like, you buy stuff at the vending machine every day. What if instead of that, you just bought this and it's good for you and it's good for your health? And I was like, okay. Like, I don't know if I need it. I eat salad. She's like, yes, but you're not getting the variety of 30 every day, or it was 17 at the time. You're not getting the variety of 17 and all that. So I finally felt like I had run out of all my excuses. And I really did allow myself at that point, when she asked me that what if question, I really allowed myself to think, what if it did make a difference? What if I didn't have this stress every day going to school? So I started to take the product. Something else that I was dealing with, but I completely felt was normal, is I got sick a lot since I was little. And I would probably go on antibiotics once a year for something since young. Gee, I wonder why I had gut issues. So anyways, that was my normal. Was not expecting a difference in that. But about 6 months into taking Juice Plus, Shelly pointed out to me, because she's really good at customer care. And so, like, take notes on doing your customer care. She pointed out to me that I hadn't gotten sick since I started. And I was like, oh, oh, I didn't notice that. You're right. Maybe I'll keep taking these things, right? And so I was like, whether or not I notice anything or whatever, this is good for me. I started to feel really good about empowering myself with that. I started to get a bit more energy. I started working out, taking care of myself a bit more. And then through the education that Shelly was getting through the community, she was like, maybe you should cut out this food or this allergen and try this. And that's what really led me to understanding that I had an allergy. And the minute I took that out, 3 days later, all my symptoms were gone. So this community, the education we get is absolutely priceless. And I have a lot of Crohn's, colitis in my bloodline, a lot of autoimmune. I think that if I hadn't nipped it in the bud when I did with nutrition, my life would be different. I really do feel like I would have been diagnosed with a bowel disease later in life. So I am so grateful that Shelly was brave enough to share with me again and again, and really helped me to remember to take it every day, because I wasn't consistent in the beginning. I didn't really understand that I needed it. I didn't even know how it was made or anything about it when I started. But I stayed on it for 7 years. And when I started my nutrition program, it was a no-brainer to me that I would be sharing this in practice. The minute that we started learning about multivitamins and all the limitations in absorption, in how there's actually some nasty side effects to taking isolates over a long period of time, I thought, don't you guys know about Juice Plus? And I was like that person in the class. And when I started to see food journals, I was like, man, even my healthy eaters are not eating 7 to 13 servings of fruits and veggies. Like, I need to at least sign up just to be able to recommend this and them to get it easy through me. So I was a rep. I was starting a traditional business because I realized that the 9 to 5 life was not for me. I had traditionally done my education in elementary ed. I was going to be a teacher. And then I had this kind of crisis where I was like, I can't be stuck to a building 10 months of the year and have to be there from this time to this time. All of a sudden, it just hit me. I'm like, I just can't do that. I need freedom. I need flexibility. I love kids, but I think it's more like I want my own kids and I want to raise them and stay home with them. So I decided to do a traditional small business. And that's what I was doing. And I loved it. I loved working with people. I loved that for a long time. But what I did notice in that path, I was starting to realize that the type of flexibility and freedom that I wanted, along with the wealth that I wanted, wasn't possible. And as much as I had this burning desire to feel like I was professionally growing and build and achieve something for me, I also had this really strong desire at the time to start a family. I was 27. And so that was the point when Shelly and Jan sent us to conference. So we were invited to go to Phoenix conference. I really needed a vacation. Like I said, I was a rep already, but I wasn't building the business at all. And I went to that conference, and they say that if you never go, you never know. And that is completely my story. I would have never been here if I didn't go to that conference. So I went, and first of all, I noticed the people around me were like ordinary people and my age, and there was all different demographics, but I was like, okay, this isn't just like a bunch of weirdos because we're like in one of those businesses. Like, there's real people here who I feel like I can relate to. And then I was noticing people on stage. So there was younger people up there. There was a 22-year-old who had reached the top level of the company, and she was sharing how she did that through social media. And I was like, wow, she can do it. Maybe I could actually do something with this. And I heard about the benefits package that's at the top level of the company. And as self-employed, my husband, both and I, no benefits. So I was like, I was nudging him. I'm like, even if we just did NMD to get the benefits package, like, wouldn't that be awesome? So that was kind of like the first sparks. They also talked about just business in general. And there was a speaker up there who was in finance, and he was sharing about, general work, like job, which is all I ever really knew, was trading your time for money. And then small business, you're still trading a lot of your time for money, really. Like it takes a lot when you're a small business. But if you can operate at the big business level, which is what our virtual franchise allows us to do, then your money can start to earn money, or your system can start to earn money, the team. And so you can start to earn money while you sleep, essentially, and get into investing and that sort of thing. So I was like, light bulb. I was like, oh, like no one's ever explained that to me before. This is why we're red at the end of every month. This is why we're in debt and barely scraping by, with student loan debt plus our mortgage. It was hefty. And there was many times where the pantry was very thin. And there were a few times where at that point we had to, let our parents know, like, hey, could you spot us this month for groceries? Like, we were not in a great position financially, just building both of our businesses in the beginning. Like, how can we start a family right now? This is like, how can we? And so I saw these possibilities as I was sitting there. I was getting goosebumps. I was being emotionally, I was starting to tear up at the NMD stories. And I thought to myself, like, man, like, what if it was possible? Like, what if this could work for us? These are just ordinary people who decided to do it. And, you do the steps to get up the marketing plan, and there it is. I'm like, man, maybe we can do this. So that's when I came back from that conference and I decided to work this business with intention. I kept it super simple. I shared my story to as many people as possible. I was working a serving job at the time. And so a lot of those people in the beginning were the people I was talking to. I did my list. I did all the stuff that your mentor would bring you through your startup meeting. Like, I wrote my list. And it was really cool to do that exercise, because as you're writing down those names, like, there were some names I wrote down that I was like, I would be so scared to talk to that person, or I would never be brave enough. But those people, I wrote down their name anyway. And it's funny, universe, I don't know, law of attraction, but those people reach out to me. Or like, we were in class and they were like, hey, Sarah, will you tell me about that Juice Plus stuff? I'm like, yes, I'm still scared, but yes, I will tell you. So it's just really neat. Like, when you have an open mind, when you're doing your memory jogger and writing out the people that who might benefit from either the product or the business. So essentially, we went into it. A year later, I had reached SSC, so that leadership position. So by the time I was pregnant with my first, I had that under my belt, and I was like, I put my serving belt away and my serving shoes away, and I was like 7 months pregnant. I was like, I will never have to work a job again, and I knew it. Then 2 years later, after that, I reached QNMD. So that was right before my daughter was born. And that was another level of freedom for us and for income. And then the following year, we got my husband to NMD. So we got that benefits package. Our kids were super little. They were 4 and 2. And that was life-changing for us. Like, to not have to worry about, okay, I want a massage. Oh, I can actually get it because I have benefits. Some people have that in their employment, I know, but for self-employed, like, those are extras that we would not have been able to afford. So that's been really, really amazing. This business has helped us to pay down our debt incredibly. And like, it's just whole nother avenue where we can start to invest and to see that big business in action. And when I was pregnant, or, postpartum, to have those moments in time where you realize I'm still earning this, stable income that I can rely on. And I've been checked out for the past couple of weeks. You know what I mean? Like, that is the beauty of this. So it's 1,000,000% worth it. Like, I loved the idea of not working 40 hours a week for the rest of my life. I loved the idea that I could work a lot less than that, but still earn good money and have the ability to say yes to things for my family and not have to sacrifice so much of the stuff we want to do together. So that that made it so worth it. But when it really hit me, the power of build this business did for us is, the last few years for us, there's been a lot of uncertainty, and COVID was a part of that for sure. And I know a lot of us were in that boat of uncertainty, not knowing if you're going to have a job or going to be able to work, not knowing what any of that looks like, right? And the one thing that was certain in all of that time for me was my business, my paycheck, this amazing community of support. And when other people looking in on what I was going through would ask, like, are you going to need to get a job, or are you going to need to sell your home? And honestly, like, I don't blame them for asking those questions. Most people in that situation would have had to. But for me, I was like, no, like, I'm doing my budget. I'm good. I think I can cover everything with what I earn. And I don't want to put my kids in daycare. Like, I want to be present with them. So what a blessing, like a choice that I made when I was 27, I'm 35 now. I can like literally, I would like kiss my younger self and just thank you for seeing this. Thank you for putting the effort into this, because I had no idea how this business would continue to support me through all the different phases of my life. So that's really my story. And I know that when we hear these stories, sometimes we ask ourselves like, okay, that's cool for that person. But I really want you to allow yourself to think like, what if it was possible for me? Like, what if? What if you could earn, like, first of all, like, yes, you can cover the cost of your product. That's why you're here. That's great. Like, we have all different people and goals in here, and that's fantastic. But what if you could, cover the mortgage or car payment, or maybe the mortgage and all the bills? Like, what would that mean for you guys? Where would you choose to spend your time? Who would you be with? What would you be doing? And so really, it only takes 3 things to be able to do this business. Anyone can do it. Most people don't. Most people won't. This business, because it is easy in $50, like, it's so easy. There's no inventory, there's no quotas, like, it's easy in. So it can be somewhat of a revolving door. You have to understand that most people won't do what I'm about to share with you, but everyone can. So every single one of you can. So the first thing that you need is vision. You need to be so clear on your vision, because in certainty, in life, in law of attraction, certainty wins. What you're certain of, what you focus on is going to prevail. It's just like the most certain person in a conversation wins. Okay. So you need that certainty of your vision, where you're going, what you want. Like for me at first, it was just like, I want, and I am going to be able to stay home with my kids and have benefits and like have security, but also have freedom and flexibility. And it's not just having the vision and thinking of it one time. It's like having it so close that you cannot forget it, because in the ups and downs and the highs and lows of business and, some of the setbacks, we need that vision right there to remind us to keep doing the hard stuff and to remind us what we're working for. That also goes for like who you're surrounding yourself with, because when I'm in the mud, I'm going to call on my buddy to lift me up and help me see my vision again. So having it straight there, revisiting that a lot, and then keeping that certainty strong. And I really believe that it's all of our responsibility to safeguard our certainty. So who are you allowing? What noises, what influences do you have in your life? We're the sum of the 5 people we spend the most time with. So think of your 5. 2 of mine are kids. What does that mean? Think of your 5. Like, are they adding to your certainty? and really try to surround yourself with people who lift you up. It's almost like you've got to block out those negative voices, especially in the beginning when your belief is still growing. It's like budding belief, like a little birthday candle, and you're walking around sharing Juice Plus and someone could just blow it out. So we want to build that fire so that no one, no matter what they could say or bring to you, no matter what setback, your fire's so big, it's never going to burn out. So what can we do to build our belief and keep that certainty? We need to take our product every day. We need to keep that belief in our product and what we do. If we can't stay consistent with that, how can we help others stay consistent with that? How can we grow a business and be consistent with our businesses? So keeping that product belief high, but also coming to the fire, like tuning in. You guys all chose to tune in tonight. You could have been doing other things. You could have turned on Netflix. I mean, we're all busy, we're all tired, but you chose to be here. So that shows something. And then, you know, as you keep going through and like get to a training, but that's not just a one-time thing. Like, it's amazing how many reps feel like they only need to go to one training and then they're done. Like, to become an elementary teacher, I did 4 straight years of university and I spent like $20,000. So like, if you were starting a business of any kind, there would be not only a financial investment, but you'd be learning. You would have to learn and put in the time to learn. So if you want to treat this like a business, show up to those trainings. The company makes them so affordable. There's a lot of free trainings. There's things like this. Keep coming to the fire, keep coming to the events, hearing the stories, and getting people to hear it along with you. All right, that's the first thing. So the first thing was vision. So we can have vision, right? Maybe we could take some time to journal after this call and think about what is it that you really want to get to that, if it was possible, because it is. The second thing is being teachable. So this is coming into a growth mindset rather than a fixed mindset. This is learning to not have to reinvent the wheel, but to follow the system. This takes personal growth. This takes the ability to tone down our ego and to learn something from someone else. And know that success leaves clues. And if someone's gone before me and done it, I want to learn from them. I want to learn everything I can about the do's, the don'ts, what worked, what didn't, and just take the easy route by following what they're showing you. And coming from that, like, if you ever find yourself hearing something that you can do in business, or learning something, or learning about a system, and you think, oh, I couldn't do that. I'm not good at that. I can't. You got to change your mindset. This is the hard stuff. Our business is simple and easy. This is the hard stuff. You've got to say, you know what, I'll try. How about I try? Let's see how this goes. And if that doesn't work out so well, maybe I could reach out and ask for some feedback and take it. Right? So it's being teachable, being willing to know that we don't know everything. And that's the most dangerous words. It's like, I already know that. And we can get like that in this business when we've been to a million trainings, and we can start to hear the same things again and again. And we can think, I already know that. But we don't know it unless we're doing it. If you're not doing it every day, you don't actually know it. So maybe you do need to hear it. And maybe you need to hear it in the right timing or from the right person. And people will follow you. Like, when you show up in that way and you are personally growing and you are choosing I can language instead of like, I don't know if I could do that or whatever, like, people feel that and they want to follow leaders who have that certainty and that willingness to grow, right? So that's being teachable. The third thing is being consistent. So inconsistent action will bring inconsistent results, and that's going to lower your belief, and that's going to make you act more inconsistently. And it's like a vicious cycle. What I will say is, I believe we all have seasons. You can be successful in this business and have seasons. Okay, there might be times where you are killing it, you're on fire, you're in it, you're focused. And there might be times where you're kind of slowing down a little bit, but you're still in it. And there may be times where it's like nothing's coming in and you're like frustrated and it's winter. That's all normal. Humans have seasons and cycles. Businesses have seasons and cycles. But what we don't do is pull out of the race entirely. What we don't do is throw in the towel when it's a winter season, because spring's right around the corner. Just stay in it. Keep working through the winter, and you're going to see a lot come spring and summer, and that momentum will roll through the whole year. But it's okay, and don't be discouraged if you yourself have gone through seasons in this business where you've done more or less. It looks like we have 10 minutes left. Don't worry, we'll get through it before. Don't let that discourage you. Don't let that become a story for you that allows you to do less. Like, consistency is important, but don't let that be a reason why you don't keep going. Does that make sense? So like, what if you stopping? What would that look like? What if you gave it like we always start with 90 days, like 90 days of that focus, that intention, that inviting to events, sharing stories when you can, saying yes to everything that will build your business and get you in front of people. Magic happens when we have those bursts of consistency. All right. So I just want to go through the beliefs and then we'll be done. So I mentioned belief in products. So I'm just going to go through 4 beliefs that you really need. So there's those 3 things: vision, teachability, and consistency. Every one of you can do that. There is resources, there's support. It's all here for you. It's absolutely worth it, and you can do it. But those 4 beliefs are really, really important. So belief in the product. What's your belief in the product out of 10? Just write it in a note, put in the chat if you want, or just think about it. But what's your belief in the product and how it can help and serve others? Our towers, our capsules, shakes, omegas, like, what's your belief in all of the products? If you don't have experience with it, your belief can't be very high, can it? You might have heard other stories and that creates your belief, and that's great. But experiencing the products is really important. It's very difficult to sell something you yourself have not invested in. So take your product every day, be a product of the product, show people you're taking your product. That's part of my lifestyle. I want to share that on social media, and people will see and be excited and ask questions. And even if they don't say anything, they are watching. They're like, oh my gosh, it's been 8 years. She's still doing that stuff. She's still taking that. Huh, maybe it wasn't just a thing. Like, you just never know when people, they see it, they keep seeing you. And then belief in the business. So again, surround yourself with people who have already done it. Surround yourself with people who are in the arena doing it, and let yourself have that support. And like, they're the living proof that this business works. So ask them, like, why is this worth it for you? What time do you put in? Ask for feedback. Pretty much everyone in this business will do a coaching call with you if you ask them. So really just reach out and believe the company. So you'll get this belief when you show up to in-person events, because you'll see you'll experience. But what you need to know about the company is that it's 50 years strong. It is stable and lasting, but not only that, not only do we have this incredible foundation, but we are experiencing massive growth. Over the past 8 years I've been a part of this company, we've experienced growth in lots of different spurts, like month after month after month after year. And we are still, I feel like, not even like it, we have room to grow as well. And our company's ready for those shifts. Think of how many people need to grow their own food and want to and see the benefit. Think of how many people would like to support their immune system. If they only knew what we knew, they would be all over what we have. We just need to be more visible. And then belief in you. This is a hard one. This is one that you really, this is where the personal growth comes in. So if you're spinning your wheels with the business and you're doing all the action consistently, this is the place where it's like, it's the personal growth time. What is it that I need to learn that's going to help me go to this next level? How do I need to change my thought process? What am I telling myself every day? What are the messages I'm telling myself about me? About my ability as a leader? Am I saying I'm not a good leader? Well, the universe believes you. If you're certain about that, that's going to be reflected back to you. So we really need to retrain our brains, reprogram our mindset. And what are you going to do when there's a setback? That's going to kill your belief in you or heighten your belief in you. So really celebrate those moments where there's a setback and you let yourself, go through it and feel it, but then you bring yourself out of that because you have your vision here and you're like, yep, I'm going to make a comeback to this setback. Because like I said, most people don't stick around. Most people don't do what they could with this business because they hit a low, a customer cancels, and they tell themselves a story that I'm not good at this. This is hard. This is too hard. I can't do this, or it's not working, or the product's too expensive, or this company, da 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 da. They tell themselves a lie, and then they miss out on the prize that was there and available for them if they just stood in line. So really, the secret to succeeding in this business is never to quit and stop stopping. If you do stop, just get back on the horse as fast as you can. I hope that you guys got some value out of that tonight. And thanks again, Michelle, for inviting me. We have 4 minutes left till this meeting time's out. So if anyone wants to unmute.
Thank you so much, Sarah. We really appreciate your time. We really, really do. Thank you. That was amazing. I gained a lot from it. I don't know about everybody else, but wow, thank you. I love that when we have an opportunity, this business gives us this opportunity to, provide a stable, long-lasting income that gets deposited into our bank account on the 10th of every month. I know we went through some times where, my husband isn't working and he's like, oh, I'm so glad you actually said yes to this business. I'm sorry, babe. I thought this wasn't going to work out, but I'm really proud of you and with how far you've come. So I'm really grateful that I said yes to this business. I know it's done a lot for me and my family health-wise, but I've changed a lot of lives, people coming into trying this product and this business too. And my niece, she's like, I'm ready to get started with this business with you. And I was giving her this vision. I'm like, what would it be like just to make $500 a month? $500 a month, that's $6,000 a year. In 5 years, that's $30,000. She's like, that's a lot of money. Like, I know, so just something to think about. And, asking her questions like, what do you want? She's like, well, I want to pay for, she's going to school. So she's like, I'd love to get, that paid for. And I want horses and I want this. I'm like, well, what if this business could provide you with what you desired, So anyways, I just want to thank you all so much for hopping on. We have 2 minutes. So if you have any questions at all, let us know. Okay, I'm going to stop the recording here. Okay.